Verbally Effective with Ina Esco is an interview-style podcast that intersects art, culture, politics, and entertainment with a Memphis focus. Each week, I'm joined by a featured guest with roots in Memphis. Verbally Effective delves into each guest's personal journey to uncover the incredible stories fueling their purpose, the highs and lows of their pursuits, and how through their passion, they are moving the culture forward.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Howard Q hanging out with Double E Ina Esco on the Verbally Effective podcast. Player.
Hey, it's your girl Shayna J with SJ Entertainment, here to fulfill all of your entertainment needs. And I'm with my girl Ina Esco with the Verbally Effective podcast.
Greetings, and welcome to another edition of the Verbally Effective podcast right here live on WYXR 91.7 FM Memphis, raised by sound. And you know, this podcast intersects art, culture, politics, entertainment with a Memphis focus. That's right. We are talking to so many people that are making an impact in the community right here in Memphis, Tennessee. And today I have some special guests with me. I have the county assessor, Mr. Melvin Burgess, and I also have outreach specialist, Adrianne Vestal. How are you?
Hello. Thank you so much for having us.
Yes. Well, you guys are very busy with STEM in all aspects and why it's important for our college students, for our kids. You guys are doing so much work in the community right now, and you have a big event coming up as well. And so I want to start with Mr. Burgess. How are you, Mr. Burgess?
I'm doing good, thank you.
So, I know that you are the Sigma Pi Phi Delta leader. Is that correct?
I'm in the fraternity, but I am the chairman of the Social Action Committee.
The chairman of the Social Action Committee.
That's right.
Okay, so when one hears Sigma Pi Phi Delta Boule, it's almost like if you know, you know. Like,
absolutely.
I don't want to call it a secret society, but I have heard about the Delta Boule in circles, being a graduate of an HBCU. So could you tell the Verbally Effective audience just a little bit about what the Delta Boule is?
Okay, I think we were talking earlier, both of you and myself are part of course, Kappa Alpha Psi, you Alpha Kappa Alpha.
That's right.
Which is the part of the Divine Nine. Well, this fraternity is not part of the Divine Nine. Sigma Pi Phi fraternity, also known as the Boule, was founded in 1904. And it is the oldest Greek letter fraternity for African American professionals. And today it remains committed to its original mission, right, of contributing to the enhancement of underserved communities, black communities. So the fraternity, known locally as the Delta Boule, seeks to address systemic inequities in black communities, right? So it was basically founded or its members were selected outside or once they started their profession. That's how it got started. So, and these men are really men of, I'm going to say, importance, or men are at the table. Prestige. I mean, just, they're at the table, they're 9 times out of 10 in the Boule.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's secretive, but when they do their things, they don't like to be out. They don't like letters on the shirts. They don't.
Not a lot of promotion.
Not a lot of promotion. It does things quietly, but in a very, very robust
way. I
way.
like that. Right. And in 1904, starting such an organization had to come with many challenges. And
also it was founded by 2 doctors, as in medical doctors. So it just lets you know the type of its members, what they're made of, and what their careers are.
Yes, and you just broke down a synopsis of the Delta Boule, because the first thing I asked you, I said, can I join the Delta Boule? Do I meet the criteria? You was like, well, you have to be a man.
I didn't mean it like that.
No, I understand, after you gave me the history of it, and you guys have made so many strides, and I like what you all are doing right now. So let's segue with Adrianne for a second. Adrianne, you are an outreach specialist. So tell me, your role and capacity and how you work with Melvin.
Number one, I am very passionate about the community. And being that Mr. Burgess is the Social Action Outreach Chair, his main objective is getting the Boule, the Delta Boule, acclimated in the community.
Okay.
And so that's how I'm able to come in and support their goals.
Yes, yes. So I know Melvin probably leans on you a lot with this activity, right?
Well, one thing I can say about Mr. Burgess is that he's very passionate about service. And so I think we work really well together because I'm passionate about service. And we are able to meet people, engage with people, and to make sure that people are getting what they need. Mm-hmm. We're addressing disparities that are currently happening not only nationally but locally in Memphis.
Yes.
And I think that's one of the Delta Boule's biggest objective right now is how do we dismantle these disparities?
Yes, gotcha. Well, let's get right into it and talk about you guys' work locally and nationally with the Parity Project. Mr. Burgess, what is the Parity Project?
So the Parity Project, it's the Sigma Pi Phi's fraternity-wide call to action to level the playing field by achieving parity for Black America by the year 2030. And this initiative is a major undertaking to promote highly compensated STEM-related career opportunities in Black high school students and early career professionals. And the goal of the Parity Project is to tackle the wealth disparity. That's the problem, the wealth disparity, and accelerate the achievement of economic parity in Black America through greater representation in lucrative STEM fields, because we do not represent in some of these STEM fields. Like, for instance, of course, African Americans only represent 13.4% of the U.S. population, and out of that, 5% are physicians, 3% venture capital equity general partners, 1% Fortune 500 CEOs,
1%,
8.6% of Fortune 500 corporate board members, 5% of STEM jobs, and 9% of STEM degrees. So we're just not at the table. We're not well represented when it comes to those jobs.
So, Mr. Burgess, why aren't we at the table in 2023?
Well, of course, poverty, we feel, is the number one issue. Mm-hmm. And we just feel that, we're at the table. So the Boule is saying, hey, how can we get these students, or how can we get them early? Now, we do recognize that there are some issues, like we know, because, Memphis, Shelby County schools are our biggest gatekeepers. Mm-hmm. And we know that there's been issues talked about math scores, of course, but it's bigger than that. Even if we don't reach you as a STEM, that want to be a STEM professional, at least we want you to know that there could be a career. Like, who would ever thought that Uber, you can get on the phone and call Uber.
Right.
Who would ever thought that Netflix would take the
place
that
Blockbuster
once filled. So there are so many things that dealing with STEMs where people just don't understand. They always think of STEMs as math, science, you got to be smart in that, but that's not the case.
However, math is those math skills are very fundamental. And one thing that we wanted to do was have a summit, a national annual convening of STEM resources, so we can start talking about ways to make STEM tangible to our community. Yes. I previously mentioned that math is very fundamental, and increasing your math skills could be something as easily as making sure that your toddlers are engaging with Legos.
Gotcha, because it develops their skills very early.
Yes. Math and critical thinking.
That's right. Because I know when I had my first child, and he's 18 now, what is it? Einstein, baby?
Yes.
Einstein.
Yes.
I had all the
music.
The Einstein products. Do you hear me?
Yes.
In this, I don't know if I'm going to attribute that to that,
yes.
but he was so smart very early on, and still is.
Baby Einstein.
Baby Einstein. Look how, 18 years ago. Oh, my. Let's talk about some of the activities that you all undertake right now with students, you said, in high school, kids that are developing early careers. I know that you all are very active in my alma mater, Lemoyne College. Shout outs to Angela Wooten.
Yes. Thank you, Shauna Williams. 807 Connected.
807 Connected.
Yes,
so tell me about that relationship.
Well, it's one of those partnerships that started with Mr. Burgess and our Parity Project. And initially, we just wanted to bring awareness about the Parity Project and ways we can engage those students in STEMs. And we were so visible with the children that Keshana Williams developed a program for the Delta Boule and the Lamont-on students to keep us engaged. While our initial focus was on STEMs, we realized that there were some other disparities going on. There was that clothing inequity, and as you know, at Lamont-on, in order to finish, you have to have an internship.
Yes.
Which means you need that professional attire.
Correct.
And so to address that, being that the Boule, they're men of influence, they put together a clothing drive recently, a back to school clothing drive and mixer to make sure that our students going into the 2023-24 school year, that they have the professional attire that they needed. So they were able to raise over $3,000 in gift cards, and they donated over 50 suits for our young men.
That's awesome.
And they were Oak Hall suits. I want to say
Come on, Oak Hall. Okay, that's the edge of connection.
But you know what was really inspiring for me was we had the students. It's about 20 students. We normally we have our meetings out at Southwind TPI. So we had a luncheon with our president, and I want to thank Mr. Tyrone Burrows, the owner of R.S. Lewis Funeral Home, because he provided the transportation. So we took the kids out there. You should have seen the expression on those kids' faces when we crossed the gate in Southwind. So it lets you know just about exposure. You know, we take for granted that these kids are first time probably in their household that are graduating from college. So, and another good thing that we really did working with Angela and Keshana was, out of those 20 students, they gave us profiles. So we are going to be pairing them with our Boule members, their business, because most of them own their own business. Physicians,
for internships.
Yeah, for internships. Physicians, State Farm, Guthrie's Chicken, all the above. So, and some other aspiring jobs. So, because these kids have to be sponsored. You know, you can go over and talk to kids, this and that, but you have to be really with them. Like I took a young man to the Southern Heritage Classic, and you know, we really, and I got a special place in my heart because I attend Metropolitan. I'm a deacon over there, and we know Lamont got his middle name by one of our pastors, S.A. Owen. Okay. So I kind of hold tight to the school because I'm right next door to the, our church is. Yes. So, and I went to HBCU too, Grambling State University.
I was going to ask you
class
that.
of 1984.
Come on, Grambling.
Yeah, that's right.
I love it. And I'm so glad that you all are doing this Parity Project with my alma mater because, we are in Memphis, Tennessee, founded, I believe, in 1938, Lamont-on College. And even when I attended, and this is a long time ago, over 20 years ago, I always felt like, okay, I'm getting a great education. I had a lot of professors that I looked up to. I received great internships. When I graduated, I still felt that, I don't know, Lamont-on College has been overlooked, and we're the only HBCU here in Memphis.
In Memphis.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So
you would think that we would have an abundance of support.
Yes.
Being that Memphis is a minority city.
Exactly. So I'm glad you all are working with the kids. What have been some of the success stories from this Parity Project so far that you've witnessed?
Well, we have one of our members who's a businessman. We reached out to his foundation out at Benedict College, and we were on a call along with Ms. Vestal with the president and I think some of their staff members, and Mr. Burrows has a foundation because that's his alma mater, and she implemented the Parity Project at Benedict College, and we had 3 students.
Yes, 3 students engaged. So if you want to be connected with the Parity Project, we have a partnership with Base 11. Our program is a digital program. It's supplemental. We provide supplemental resources to help you with your STEM profile or with other STEM opportunities. There are 5 components to our program. One of them is you have to complete a Parity Project Innovation Challenge. We understand how critical technology is. And like Mr. Burgess said earlier, we're looking at the Ubers and the Netflix. Well, with our Parity Project Innovation Challenge, we want students to develop those critical thinking skills. So that with that challenge, we help students figure out, how can I use technology to solve an issue in Black America? And 3 of our winners this year came from Benedict College.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. How do you guys incorporate AI into the STEM activity?
And that's a great question. We have a partnership with Code Crew.
Okay.
And as we know, AI is computer science. And we know that AI, not only is it now, it's the future.
It is, because I use it.
Yes.
It can do a lot, but you have to definitely review it before you implement it.
And so that's why our STEM Summit is so critical, because when we're looking at Facebook and MySpace, our community, we weren't on the forefront of that technology.
No, we were not.
So now with our STEM Summit coming up on Saturday, we want to have as many STEM resources as possible where we can have a conversation, a dialogue about how can we start getting our students acclimated? How can we make STEM equitable for our community?
Yes.
And so I'm so happy that you mentioned AI, because on Saturday we will have Miss Audrey Willis from Code Crew. She will be on our panel.
That's going to be awesome. Wow. Well, we're going to talk more about the summit that's coming up on Saturday. We're going to get into some other things, but we have to hear from our community partners real quick.
Okay.
And we'll be right back right here with Verbally Effective with Melvin Burgess and Adrianne Vestal. Hey guys, we're here on WYXR 91.7 FM Memphis with your Double E, Ina Esco, live with Verbally Effective Podcast. I have 2 special guests in the studio with me, Mr. Melvin Burgess, the county assessor and the chairman with the Sigma Pi Phi Delta Boule. I have Adrianne Vestal. She's the outreach specialist, and we have been talking about all things Parity Project and how they incorporate STEM into their activities. They have a huge event coming up. The Sigma Pi Phi Delta Boule will host the 2023 Delta Boule STEM Summit. So, Mr. Burgess and Ms. Vestal, tell me about how this summit all came about and what we can expect.
Okay, so we felt that that there are so many STEM initiatives throughout this the city and the county, and we know the biggest gatekeepers are Memphis Shelby County Schools, and we've been going around talking to different individuals that one of our big supporters, the chamber over there with Amity Schuyler. She was one who told us to talk to different people. That's really how we found out how many people is really doing the work. Memphis has a big heart in STEMs. It's just a matter of us convening and trying to come together. And we want to introduce our initiative at our level, which is the Delta Boule's level. Say, hey, look, this is what we got. Tell me what you have, right? So we got a lot of work is going on, but we want to see how can we collaborate and come together and have one pathway for students.
And bring awareness. Because the chamber, they have a STEM initiative for Memphis. It's called Prosper Memphis 2030. By the year 2030, they want to have matriculated at least 20,000 STEM degrees by 2030 per year, with half of those coming from the African American community. Okay. So we realized that we both have similar initiatives. Why don't we work together? And then we wondered, well, how many other STEM programs or STEM initiatives are out there? Let's get together and start having these conversations, right? So that we will be able to service our children. Because we know that our program is only for a certain demographics. It's beginning your junior year in high school all the way up until 34 years old. Well, Code Crew, they work with elementary school students, middle school students, high school students, and adults. So we just want to make sure that no stone is left unturned when it comes to our community in STEM.
And also, Ina, I want to add to that is that the Delta Boule is going to ensure, if we have our hands on this initiative, we're going to make sure, I hear people talking about blue over this and that, we're going to make sure that our kids of color are going to be at that table when those engineering jobs come out, when those jobs of good paying jobs come out. Don't get me wrong, a job. I know, man, you might not qualify for those jobs at top, but, a city that's the majority, we want to make sure there's a clear pathway and students understand what it's going to take, and they're going to be at the table. Because I've been hearing the blew over this, blew over that, all over, but how will our kids benefit? Because like right now, I was hearing you talk about your kids. Like I got 2 daughters. One graduated from Spelman, went up to New York, finished Columbian grad school, got a scholarship, but she's not coming back home. She's in New York. Then I got a young daughter who's a graduating senior at Spelman in Atlanta. She's not coming back home.
What's attracting them to come home? They need to come home to a
something.
career.
They need to come home to a career because
something.
And we all know. Yeah, of course, it was told to me when I was on the county commission that jobs are here. But I really, said, look, jobs are here because these students who are coming back and getting jobs are students that do not look like me. And either their parents or they're connected with someone they know to get that kind of a job. But our kids come back, if you're not connected, because it's all in who you know when you get a job. Let's just be real about that.
Definitely.
So we got to make sure that we have that attraction for our best and our brightest to come back here, and that's not happening.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned about that.
I'm concerned about it too. I'm glad you guys are on top of it.
I'm concerned about that.
Now, when you started talking about the event, you mentioned the biggest gatekeeper. Why is there gatekeeping going on with this?
And when we say gatekeeper, we mean the biggest influence.
Oh, the
Memphis,
biggest
Shelby
influence.
County schools,
Oh.
because they're engaging with our students the most.
Gotcha.
Yes.
When I hear gatekeeper,
I
think
know.
it's something else.
Yes.
Okay.
So those are our biggest partners because they influence our students the most.
Okay.
I believe that Memphis Shelby County schools, they are a key, a dominant influence in the landscape of Memphis.
For sure.
Because they are with our children every day. They are preparing our workforce, our future workforce.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's so critical for us to partner with them.
Right. A lot of collaborating must go on. And, we're hearing about, just thinking about 2023 and the economic climate right now, we're hearing all of these major companies in Memphis, FedEx, for example, are laying off. And, I'm also hearing a lot of AI is replacing them. So someone has to control the AI.
Someone has to control, and that's why computer science is so important, because a lot of AI is coding. So we need to make sure that our children are acclimated in coding. And this is something Mr. Burgess and we were laughing about. If these young boys can break into an Xfinity in less than 2 minutes,
Okay.
they can learn how to code.
Yeah, they're extremely smart.
Extremely smart.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they're just misguided. They're misdirected.
Yeah.
So what we want to do is we want to redirect them.
Catch them early.
Catch them early and put them on a viable path for wealth creation.
Yes. Now, when you talk with the kids, what's at the top of their mind when you introduce them to STEM? Are they very interested? Do you have to reel them in? Does it, case by case situation?
We really engaged with the kids when we had we collaborated with the HBCU Awareness Foundation. His name is Corey Allen. He's a Graham fam from my school, but he's a lot younger. Well, we had a HBCU fair over at that new complex over on Airways. I can't think of the name
Sports
of it.
Event.
Memphis Sports Center. And there's about at least 20 some colleges there, right? So that night we had a STEMs night. So we had a nice crowd, had parents there, and they were talking about, STEM departments, right? And it was a really good discussion because one of the parents here, she has 2 boys. I think they're over at White Station, yeah. And she was saying like, well, what about the student who comes from a good background and he goes to college and all of a sudden he's taking a class that he's probably has never had no training in or not up to par. And you must have that class to get into that STEMs field. Well, what are y'all doing to make sure that kid is prepared for that? Because if you go to college and get into a really hard class, I can't think of the name of the class it was.
Organic chemistry.
Yeah, and you don't make it. then what's next? So that was an issue, and I mean, it went on. It was pretty some tough conversation.
Because some of these classes are prerequisites,
Yes.
and you have to take
wow.
them to move on.
Yeah. So are our kids prepared at the level here, when they move on to the, to colleges and to the STEM field? So that was her major concern. They were saying, well, so what do y'all do as a department, and at a HBC or wherever you might be, to make sure that these kids are prepared, because these kids might didn't get no preparation when they were in high school, but yet you're finna go to the next level. And I was just like, wow, well, what is this?
Right.
So that's something else that that we're dealing with also.
And STEMs can be
Wow.
very intimidating when you're thinking about science, technology, engineering, math. But sometimes it's about teaching children how to get through difficult situations, difficult classes, because some classes are designed to be difficult. They're not designed to be easy. And the goal is just to get through it. It's to
Yeah.
get through it, and of course pass. And then some students are STEM curious. They want to know how, outside of science and engineering and math, how can they engage with STEMs? And that's where the technology component come in, because it really broadens that STEM playing field. Everyone engages in technology. If you have a cell
Everyone.
phone,
Oh, they on their phone 24/7.
yes, you are engaging with technology.
Yes.
And what we want to teach them is how to be disruptors, how to use technology to solve issues.
Yes.
We are teaching our students how to be problem solvers.
Yes. Wow. Problem solving versus AI.
Well, and that's what AI did. That's what AI is doing.
It is.
solving a problem.
Look, I've talked to several students at Lamont College, and they have ChatGPT,
Yes.
any other app on their phone, and I'm like, I know you guys are not using that to do your homework, and they're like, no, Miss Esco.
It's solving a problem.
Yes, a
And
lot of problems.
A lot of problems. But I think it's how do we look at AI? How should we shape it moving forward?
Yes.
Because I do believe that AI does offer some benefits, but as humans, we control AI. We should control the benefits of AI.
Yes.
So-
wow. Let's talk about beyond the Parity Project. Let's say these students graduate. Is the Delta Boule very still instrumental in their lives going forward?
Yeah, so over the summer, of course, we working with Kashan and 807 Connected, and she provided profiles for at least about 20 to 30 students, but it kind of ran behind because they were changing over, I think, presidents, and they had to shift their workload somewhere else, so it kind of took a little longer to do it, but we finally completed that. So we're in the midst right now of trying to pair up these students, with their profiles with some of our Boule members in their companies, and working very well. We're starting to get it back connected after the summit. We're gonna get back on that. But our thing is, that we said we're gonna sponsor these kids. Like right now I'm sponsoring a guy by the name of Amir. I took him to the Sunhurst Classic this weekend.
Okay.
So
And how did that go?
Oh, it was but he was just so appreciative and picked
He
him
was
up.
on the field taking pictures.
Yes.
So
Probably
and
never been.
No,
he has not.
He's never
Okay.
been.
And he's from I think he's from Birmingham.
He's from Alabama.
Alabama.
I know Amir. I know he's
Yes,
talking about
yeah,
Mr.
yeah.
Birmingham.
That's
Yes.
my guy.
Uh-huh.
That's
Yes.
my guy. That's my
Okay.
guy. And and he stays in contact. But we're gonna sponsor kids. When I say sponsor, we're gonna take them from A to Z. We're gonna ensure that you get a job. We're gonna try to keep up with you and just make sure that that you're on that pathway of how can we help. At the end of that engagement that we had with the students, the back to school night and all that, we told them, our president told them, we are here for you. Whatever resources we can provide, the Delta Boule is here for you. And that's what we're here for. We are here for them and
to their
committed
success.
to these students, because we got several of our members that are Lamont graduates that are doctors.
And we want to make sure
right.
the ultimate goal is professional development and employment.
Employment.
We want to make sure that sponsorship is there, that you are gainfully employed.
Yes.
So we have a person that I hired that's on my staff. His name is Coach Ricks, and what he does is he's working with these students in 807 Connected with their resumes. He's working with them in professional development, interviewing, and getting
they
their
need
skills.
this.
Oh, you'd be surprised the things that we saw when they came out to Southwind, when we picked them up, and just the little things that we take for granted every day. Remember, these are first-time college grad students, and they're saying, well, look, what I'm going to do when I graduate.
Right.
And that's why Kashana came back to kind of put them in a pathway, with some stakeholders or some leaders, and that's how we connected, the Delta Boule and Kashana. So that's how we connect with those students. So we are there for the Lemoyne students, and they know us. As soon as we hit the campus, they know me and her. They know us. So we want to make sure that we can bring, even myself, with Gramercy University, I don't do what I'm supposed to do. And I know, it's a lot to do. It's a lot just to come and give back. And they told us one thing that was really mind-boggling was that it's a shortage of men. They say it's good to have if we can get men to come on campus, either just to mentor, just show your face.
That's true.
Yeah, there's not a lot of men, on the campus. So I'm calling all men, if you can just spend some time over Lemoyne, talk to Dr. Williams, Robert Williams.
Call to action.
Call to action. We would like to see men over there just to show their face and show support for those young men. They some great kids.
They are.
They are.
Great
They
kids,
are.
yeah.
I feel like it's a lot of energy and magic going on at Lemoyne College right now. We have Dr. Davis as interim president right now, and he's doing a great job.
Yes.
Great job. So I am very interested to see how things move forward. I'm currently doing some master classes with the students on social media marketing, and just let them know social media etiquette and how that affects your career.
That's your
because
brand.
They are on that phone.
That's right. That's right. You're right.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So tell me, Melvin and Adrianne, how can people attend the summit?
The most important thing is the summit is this Saturday. If you don't have a flyer, it's okay. It's a free event.
Okay, so they can just come to the Civil Rights Museum
They can come to
Saturday.
the Civil Rights
lunch.
Museum. The summit starts at 10 a.m. Registration begins at 9:30. We will offer lunch. So we will have speakers talking about the Parity Project, talking about our partnership with Base 11, which is a STEM company out of California. We're going to have a video presentation from Base 11. We're going to have someone from the Greater Memphis Chamber come and talk about their initiative. And then we will have our keynote address from Memphis Shelby County Schools Deputy Superintendent of Schools and Academic Support, Dr. Angela Whitelaw.
Okay.
And then we will have 2 panel discussions, brief. Our first one will focus on the academic and educational preparation needed, those obstacles. What should we do that, unfortunately here, I think one of our biggest dilemma is our reading and our math scores are, I don't want to say low, but they're not where they should be.
They're not.
I'm very positive. I'm
That's
very
fact.
positive. So I try to find a different word.
And that's
for
something that the Shelby County school system has been struggling with.
Yes.
So
we want to talk about that and how do we overcome it. So we can teach our students how STEM degrees and these certain academic skills, they can use that and leverage those skills to make a positive impact on society.
Yes.
And then we will have a summit where we focus on STEM careers. So we have Mr. Jeremy Simpson. He has his own STEM business. He's doing work with the cities. If you are ever driving on Union by Chick-fil-A, those cameras, that's Mr. Jeremy Simpson,
Okay,
an
Mr. Simpson.
African-American man. So he has a STEM company.
Okay.
And then we want to talk about private equity and capital venture, because as a STEM entrepreneur, that's where you're getting that funding from. So we want to talk about how critical that is. And then how can we use philanthropy in creating equitable STEM communities across Black America.
I love it. I love it. And everyone can just go to the Civil Rights Museum on Saturday at 10 a.m.
Well, registration begins at 9:30, and our summit is from 10 until 1.
Awesome.
And lunch will be provided.
Awesome. I know everyone is looking forward to that. I may stop by. I don't think Saturday what my Saturday looking like. It may be looking like Delta Boule at the STEM Summit. Absolutely. Now, I do want to ask Mr. Burgess this. Now, I know you're the county assessor. How do you balance all of your Boule activities
Well, that's why we hired Mrs. Vestal.
Yeah.
Okay, she's holding it down.
She does a lot of the work and
On
the
behalf,
lead work on
okay,
behalf
of
of
the
the Delta
Boule.
Boule. And that's how serious we are to get somebody out front to help us with this initiative.
Okay.
It's huge. And I know we talked with some people yesterday with one of the foundations. I mean, people have really been, giving us information on who we can go and talk to. And you'll be surprised how big the elephant in the room is.
Really?
Every time we hear, like yesterday, we were with a foundation yesterday, and very helpful. And when it was spitting out, we're just sitting there just listening. Oh, I didn't think of that, this and this. And this foundation even offer classes, I think, that she's going to take to help you.
For nonprofits.
For nonprofit.
They teach you how to make the ask.
Yeah.
And they make sure that you are prepared to make the ask from grant writing. So it's a 12-week series that they offer for nonprofits.
Okay.
And and like she said, it's like the Delta Boule we have a dream. This is our dream, and it's going to take hard work and it's going to take costs for the dream.
Yes.
And that's basically how it was put, and it has to be organized. It has to be structured. So we feel that we're a little structured, but we got a little ways to go.
It's going to take time.
It's going to take time
because we
is.
want by 2030.
Yeah.
You got some time by
2030.
2030.
But if we start sowing those seeds now,
Yes.
the harvest.
I think you guys are
will be
setting the
plentiful.
foundation right now. And, like you said, it's going to have cost involved. And you all are at the table. So,
Yeah, and you know what? And I'm going to put my county commission hat on because, of course, this is my project. Because I live this is my district. I stay right down walking
Is
distance.
it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I live on Avalon Overton Park, and this is, I got to put my hat on. The reason I'm saying this is because, in our communities, how come we don't have this in a community of African Americans,
Like
right?
Orange Mound.
Orange Mound, and that's an initiative that I took on
Whitehaven.
to see how can we bring our neighborhoods back. Why we don't have instruments like the Green Line, or why don't we have parks that we can walk through, for our older folks, to get exercise. Why do we don't have some of those things that we feel that will make our communities better? Well, we don't have it because we're not willing to put forth an effort. And we don't, we don't roll our sleeves up. We'll talk about it, and sometimes I get frustrated because I feel as an elected official, sometimes I feel I have failed because I haven't done enough. And I think that's why I stay so wired up, and I'm always wired up. I'm always hyper because I feel we can have the, we can have the same
resources,
same resources
that Atlanta has.
Yeah.
And I know when I was on the commission, just kind of going sideways here, I know out in at Ed Rice Community Center, I had to get the sheriff to help me provide safe zones so the elderly can walk in that park.
wow.
And it shouldn't be there. We're in our communities
shouldn't.
like that. So, we have to come back strong, to build communities, because you know what? If not, won't none of this work mean anything, or what's the meaning of it?
And we have to do it collectively.
We have to do it. We got to work
Yeah.
together. We have to work together.
And everything that you just mentioned is a reason why, like you even mentioned your daughters not wanting to come back to Memphis. There has to be a reason to come back.
That's
right?
Absolutely.
That's right.
And I think leadership has a lot to do with it as well.
Absolutely.
We are undergoing early voting right now.
Yes.
And a mayoral
Mayoral is heated.
17
That's right. But
candidates.
My biggest dream, and I told this to our members here, one day, hopefully, we can have our own innovation center.
That would be
And
great.
that innovation center would be fully equipped with state-of-the-art
STEM equipment.
STEM equipment, and our students that come through there will be, hey, look, we got you. This is where you're going to work when you leave this innovation center. We
Yes.
want to have our hands wrapped around these students. So that's our number one.
An
I hate to see that
innovation
happen.
center.
I hope I'm
legacy.
around to see that happen. I like to have that as a legacy of the Delta Boule.
Well, let's go into the Delta Boule banking. Starting now, Mr. Burgess.
I like that.
I do too.
The Boule Bank.
The Boule bank.
The Bank of the Boule.
How can everyone continue to follow what you guys are doing now with the Delta Boule, with the Parity Project, with the summit, and I know future projects along the way? How can everyone stay engaged with what you have going on?
Well, you'll see a lot of things on social media. I know she's doing a lot of work with the social media piece, and I know earlier you talked about how can you get in contact with us, but we have not fully developed our website.
Okay.
And we're in the midst of trying to get that up and running. That will have all the activities through the Social Action Committee. And there you can go to that website and we'll tell you all the things that we're doing. And we're also, getting it out by 88.5 and other communications. And I hope, we can send stuff to you that you can get on your podcast.
Send it to me.
And also the HBCU Awareness Foundation, we partnered with them. And so they will be advertising all of our events.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank both of you for coming
having
today
Thank
and
you,
sharing so much
Ina.
vital information. And you guys are doing great work, not only just grooming the kids, but you're going beyond that with the mentorship, with helping them beyond STEM. I can see that happening as well.
It is
And they
truly
need
a
it.
pleasure. It is truly a
Yes.
pleasure. And thank you for giving back to your alma mater. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. You're welcome. I can say a lot, but I look forward to seeing those students when I go and do workshops, whether it's a summer program that I'm assisting with. And when they get to know you and get comfortable with you, it's a whole nother dialogue.
It is.
And they really are listening to what you're telling them and take heed to the advice. So, but you have to get on their level.
Got
Yes.
to.
And you-
Engagement.
and
That's
you-
what it's called.
Exactly. You have to be visible.
You have to. You have to. Well, thank you so much,
Thanks for
Melvin
having us.
Burgess and Adrianne Vestal. I
you.
appreciate you all so much. Make sure you guys tap in to everything that the Sigma Pi Phi Delta Boule is doing, the Parity Project initiative, and please go to the STEM Summit this weekend
Yes.
at the National Civil Rights Museum. Registration is at 9:30.
9:30.
And it's
Yes.
free lunch.
Free lunch. I want to know who catering this lunch because you plugging them.
Guthrie's Fried Chicken.
Oh, I'll be there. Don't worry. It's going to be a great event. Some very insightful information that you guys need. Thanks again for sitting in with me today here at WYXR for a live Verbally Effective podcast. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.